cut you off, so let me give it a few seconds. Welcome, everybody. Share this with someone. It's going to be a little different today. What I talk about, I wasn't here last week. I took a break. For those of you that are new here, I do these audio lives on Mondays to prepare you for the week. My name is Renisha. This is the Healing Suite. If nobody has checked on you today, baby, that is exactly why I'm here, okay? So I know many of you are on your lunch breaks. Excuse me. You're on your lunch break. Just give me a few minutes. I promise you. It won't be long. You might be sitting in your car eating. What are you eating? I'm eating a little sub right now. With some breakfast sub, but wherever you are, I just need you to stay with me. Okay. For those of you that have been wanting to work with me, but you are not ready for my Bloom coaching program, you have another option. It's called the Private Healing Intensive. So you can go to my website. It'll explain the difference. But basically, the Private Healing Intensive, you come in and we focus on one thing. I think it's four sessions. Yeah. You get 4 sessions. You have 2 months to complete it. We're going to focus on one thing. And I made it more affordable for those of you that are not ready for Bloom coaching yet. Now, please don't come thinking you're going to get what comes with Bloom coaching. It doesn't work like that. But if you are someone who's been wanting to work with me one-on-one, you need to go grab that. The only thing is I capped myself, so I only take a certain number of women per month. I only have 4 spots left for the month of August. It is July 27th, you all, okay? So it's August. I only have a spot for 4 women, 4 spots left. So if you want to go grab that, go right ahead. Someone grab the spot this weekend. All right. And I don't even think I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on live before. So yeah, hurry up and get your spot before they're gone for the month of August. All right. So I took a mental break last week, right? It was necessary and it was good. My nervous system needed it more than I even knew. Okay. But there are 2 things that happened and I have not been able to stop thinking about it. Thank you for joining. Hit the like button, you all, if you will, please. There are 2 things that happened, and this is what we're going to talk about today. All right. And I know some of you have experienced some version of this. I want to talk about how you need to learn to validate your own feelings, validate yourself, and stop waiting on other people to validate you. So last week, right, there were 2 different people, one female friend, one male friend who has romantic interest, right? So I was talking to them about how I needed a mental break. I was going to take a break off social media. The female friend immediately said, well, did God tell you? Did God tell you to take a break? What did God say? What did God say? That's why your life is delayed now, because you're being disobedient and you wondering why. And I'm sitting here like, now I need you to just pause for a second. First of all, what seems like a delay to us is not always a delay to God. That's number 1. Okay. Some of what we call delay is actually divine positioning. It could be a whole lot of things. Some of what we call waiting is actually preparation. Some of what we call disobedience is just rest, right? Plain human, necessary rest. But some of us, especially those of us who grew up in the church, we have a tendency to over spiritualize things. So my response was, well, I didn't ask God, but I don't think he minds if I need a mental break. Okay. So the second, let me say this first. I'm not perfect. None of us are, right? I'll be the first to tell you that. But I promise y'all, when it comes to obedience, I obey God aggressively. I am one of the most obedient people I know. I have said yes when yes cost me everything. Literally. Okay, thank y'all for hitting the like button. I've shown up when showing up broke me. I have poured into people when I was empty myself. Nobody knew and nobody gave a you know what because most people are selfish. Okay. So to have somebody say to me, because I'm choosing rest, that I'm operating in disobedience, baby, that thing rubbed me the wrong way. And it's not because I believed it, right? It's because I noticed how quickly we can reach for this spiritual response to make ourselves feel guilty or just taking care of ourselves, if that makes sense. So then the second thing, there's this man who claims to, care about me, all of the things. So when I told him I needed a mental break, his response was, "Oh, well, there are people who need you." So I said, why does that matter? If I'm telling you I need a mental break, what does this have to do with other people? So then he was like, well, for how long? What's wrong? Then he started talking about the testimonies I've gotten from my social media channels and all of that, like the proof that I should keep going was in what I had already given everybody else. But both of those people in the same week dismissed me. They invalidated what I said I needed and then tried to redirect my attention away from myself and back onto everyone else. And I want to sit in that with you today because I don't think what happened to me last week was unique to me. Thank y'all for hitting the like button. Thank you for the hearts. I don't think that was unique to me. I think it happens to women like us all the time. And most of the time, we let it work. We just listen to what they say and we fall back into that trap. Okay. Here's what I want you to understand about what both of those people did, even if they didn't do it on purpose. And for those of you that are just joining, I'm just talking real quick about how you need to validate yourself. You need to validate your own feelings and stop waiting for other people to validate you. So when you tell someone you need something, it can be rest, space, time, support, whatever. And their first response is to question it, to minimize it, to redirect it, or put someone else's needs in front of it. That is not concern, it's control. Tap your neighbor and say it's control. Even when it's dressed up in spiritual language, even when it comes from someone who genuinely cares about you. Because here's what a person, sorry for coughing in y'all ear. Here's what a person who actually supports your healing does when you say, you know what, I need a break. They say, okay, how can I help? Is there anything I can do to make it better? How can I support you? They don't interrogate the length of it. They don't invoke God to make you second guess it. They don't remind you of your obligations before they even acknowledge your need. And I'm not here trying to villainize anybody. Y'all know me, but I am here to name what happened. I do use things that happen in my real life to help other people, okay? And if I don't name it for you and myself, this is going to become a pattern that we just absorb. And absorbing it is what keeps us stuck. So the woman who has been through a toxic mother or father, you've been through church hurt, you've been through relationships where your needs were always the last priority. You've been trained to question yourself the moment someone else questions you. Baby, you have been trained to fold. You have been trained to apologize for having a need. You've been trained to convince yourself that, you know what, maybe they are right. Why am I talking about I need a mental break? Maybe it's too much. Maybe I should just keep going. Baby, I need you to hear me clearly. It's not morning anymore. It's afternoon now, early afternoon. But this training is a trauma response, okay? It is not the truth about you. I feel like in the world we live in, especially if you live in America, baby, at this point, we all need a mental break. From the government, from our government to the all of us, we need a mental break. All right. So let's talk about self validation really quick because I think we hear that phrase and we think it means, oh, just believe in yourself or you need to be more confident, but it goes much deeper than that. So self validation means that your feelings do not need a cosigner. Full stop. Period. Thank y'all for the confetti and please hit the like button. It'll push it out. Share this live with someone you know who needs it. And for the month of August, I only have 4 spots left. For those of you that want to work with me one on one, you can go sign up for the private healing intensive. Okay, link is in the description. Um, I'll say that again for those of you taking notes. Self validation means that your feelings do not need a cosigner. Period. Say that out loud with me, unless you're at your desk or something. Say it under your breath. Say, my feelings do not need a cosigner. And right now, I feel like I want to burst into tears. I don't know who I'm picking up on, if you're on live or catching the replay, but your feelings don't need a cosigner, baby. All right. So you don't need the person who hurt you to agree that they hurt you before you're allowed to feel the hurt. Does that make sense? You don't need your mother or father, because some of you, you're like, my daddy is a mess. You don't need your parents to admit what they did before you are allowed to heal from it. Some of you will never get the apology. You'll never get it. Okay? You don't need your pastor, your spiritual leader, to acknowledge the harm that was done to you before you're allowed to leave the church. You don't need the man who dismissed you to understand why it stung before you're allowed to be stung. Okay? Your experience is valid because you experienced it. Full stop. Period, Pooh. When it comes to your needs, your need for rest, your need for space, for silence, for support, you do not need anyone's permission to have them. You do not need to explain. I need some lip gloss or something. Even though I'm not on camera, I'm like, my lips feel dry. You don't need to explain your needs until someone else says, you know what, that does make sense. You don't have to explain nothing to nobody, baby. You don't need to defend them against someone else's theology or someone else's feelings about your timeline. Are y'all hearing me? I know some of y'all at work, some of y'all on lunch. It's all good. So what I did last week and what I'm going to do some more of, when both of those people tried to talk me out of my rest, because I just stayed with myself. I heard what they said. I didn't shut them out. But I also did not let their discomfort become my decision. I listened to my body. Nobody can tell me what I'm feeling in my body. I put myself worth first. I put myself worth. Period. I put myself first. And guess what? The world didn't fall apart. And neither will yours. So I want to do something with you right now that is going to feel different from what we've done in previous episodes. I want you to practice validating yourself out loud. If you can't do it right now, just make sure you come back to this video. We're at the 14-minute mark for those of you that are going to come back later and do this 14-minute mark, okay? You're going to practice validating yourself out loud. You may feel silly doing this. I do not care. When I first started doing it, I felt silly. Nobody cares. This works, okay? If you're at your desk, do it in a whisper. Pretend you got a call coming through. So I'm going to give you 3 statements and I want you to say them. Don't think them, say them. All right. The first one, repeat after me. What I feel is real. I don't need anyone to confirm it. The second statement, I am allowed to have needs. Having needs does not make me a burden. And the third one, this one is where everybody who has somebody spiritualize their exhaustion before, okay? Rest is not disobedience. Taking care of myself is not delay. God is not behind my back shaking his head because I need a break. Say it like you mean it. If you got to rewind it and repeat all three again. Now take a deep breath in through your nose, release it through your mouth. Now, here's what just happened. You didn't wait for anyone to tell you those things were true. You told yourself. And that right there is self validation. That is your nervous system learning that you are safe enough. You're in a safe enough place. You are a safe enough place to tell the truth to. All right. So I'm going to say one more thing before we close, and I'm going to let you get back to your Monday. The people who question your rest, right? They question your rest. They interrogate your needs. They remind you of your obligations before they acknowledge your humanity. Most of them are not evil. Most of them are just still in a place where they can't give themselves permission either. I was about to say something, but I don't want to tell too much. That true. Misery doesn't always love company on purpose, you all. Sometimes it doesn't know what to do with someone who finally said enough. And when you have people who don't even put themselves first, they don't even take care of themselves properly, they don't even rest properly, how in the world do you expect them to validate you? Uh-huh. So I'm not angry at either of those people, but I am clear about what I need, clear about who gets access to me when I'm in a tender place, and clear about the fact that my rest does not require anyone else's understanding to be valid. If I'm in a certain space, if you're in a certain space and people are against it and they think, well, you should be doing X, Y, and Z, baby, you don't have access to me right now. I have a missed call on my phone right now. Came through before I was about to go live. The same guy that said, well, what about the people? How long are you going to be gone for? You got testimony. You can't get access to me right now. Okay? So I want this clarity for you too. This is not some type of armor that you have to wear. It doesn't have to be a wall, but this is wisdom. It's wisdom and it's discernment. Everybody cannot be around you when you are processing soft moments. Everybody does not get a front row seat to your healing. That's not mean, okay? That's protection. So this was episode 6, lunchtime edition. Please hit the like button. Yeah, I'm late today. Hopefully next week. We'll be back in the morning. I don't know. But if you know this hit you, if you've had somebody question your rest, dismiss your needs, or hand you this spiritual guilt trip when you were just trying to breathe, I need you to share this with somebody. Put somebody on it. Okay, she needs to hear this today. Again, I have 4 spots left for 4 women only for the month of August. If you want to join my private healing intensive, if you want to see what other resources I have available to you, the description to my website is under this video and I'll link it in the comments section as well. Go get what you need. Y'all, it is almost August. I keep telling y'all it's almost Thanksgiving. We almost in 2027, which is crazy. If you watched this video and made it to the end, drop a white heart in the comments so that I'll know you were here. I love y'all. Go finish your Monday. You validated yourself today, and that is not small. Give yourself a pat on the back. Hey, hey, hey. All right, I'm out.